Well, today here on Big 12 Radio, you are listening to us exclusively on TuneIn. You are watching us on Big 12 Studios. Ari Timken, James Westling, Taman on the controls. We welcome in the head football coach of Texas Tech, ranked number 6 in the recent college football playoff rankings, Joey McGuire. Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Thanks for having me.
Well, we appreciate your time. This time of year, I cannot imagine everything you have going on behind the scenes. And I'd love to know, last night with the college football playoff rankings coming out, what's it like for you guys? Do you guys gather as a team? Is it like Selection Sunday for basketball? I mean, what was the setup?
We were actually walking off the practice field. So, the guys were showering and, Tuesday nights, whenever we win, we have victory dinner. So you're going to get steak. And I think we had steak and lobster last night. And so those guys were doing that. I actually did run up here and flip on the TV and kind of see where we're at and listen to all the guys talk about each team.
Yeah, I mean, so Jacob Rodriguez, you've done a really good job because we know from the Heisman Trophy standpoint, so much of it is about positioning, branding, narrative, and you've done a really good job to help to build that. And Rodriguez flashed the Heisman pose during the game. Have you ever seen? You've been around football a long time, Joey. Have you ever seen a defensive player have the season he's having? One, and two, can you just speak to what people maybe don't see in terms of his leadership and then his ability to dominate within Shield Wood's defense?
The thing that I have really jumped on the bandwagon of trying to get him to New York is just how he affects the game in the turnover area. Like if you're sitting there and you're talking about if you win the turnover battle, how the percentage of winning the game goes up, and this dude is just creating turnover after turnover. I think we're 3 or 4 away from setting the single season record. No doubt he's checking that for me, to kind of use, and he's just something, man. And people play off of him. He's taking that, really taking that to heart, knocking the football out. And then, man, he is a great human. It's a great story from him being a walk-on after being a scholarship player at Virginia, playing quarterback, now playing linebacker. And then his wife's an absolute rock star. She's in the military. She's a Black Hawk pilot. And she's incredible. So it's just such a great story. And it's a guy that's playing at such a high level. I mean, he is really affecting games. Not only just tackling the football, but taking the football away.
Joey, what did you like most about the way your team played in that win over BYU?
I thought we did a good job stopping the run. They had coming into the game, number 1 running back in the Big 12 and LJ, big running back. They're big up front in the O-line. And then, I don't know how big that quarterback is. I mean, I think they list him like at 225, 230. He's seems like more like 260. And I thought we tackled really well and we stopped the run. And that allowed us, we talk about it all the time, stop the run, you've earned the right to rush the passer. And that allowed us to let our edge guys go to work.
One of the things I think that sort of bothers me about the narrative around Texas Tech this year is the money side. And, I mean, top 10 in money, but that's, not number 1, not number 2, not number 3, right? Like, so there's teams in front of you that have spent more money, and yet those teams aren't being talked about from a money standpoint. And then I go back to, like, we said this to you at Big 12 Media Days, like, it's on you now as the coach because the talent is there. So, I'm just curious, how have you been able to build that camaraderie, that chemistry with a group that includes a lot of newcomers and a lot of guys that have played at multiple different programs?
I think it starts, one, with having Baron Morton and Jacob Rodriguez, Raj Ramirez, Corey Aiken, I can go on and on. The guys that have been with me since I got here, I think that's a big part of this because, they understand this is what we do. And I think what they can do is they were able to validate or explain to all these new guys, hey, this is how it is, man. Like, when you come into this building, it's going to be the same way every day. Whenever he tells you every single person that's employed at Texas Tech are here to make you a better person, to take care of your body, to make sure you're, taking care of your academics, like everybody in this building, it's all about the player. And so whenever they see that, they've been other places to where people said it was that, and then all of a sudden it wasn't, or somebody had a bad day and this and that. And so I think they appreciate, whenever I told them, if you come here, you're going to play your best football. We're going to make sure you're in a state-of-the-art facility to take care of your body, and you're going to enjoy coming in the building every single day. And that's happened, so they believe and trust that, and I think that has brought them closer and closer together.
Joey, how does this – we're talking with Texas Tech football coach Joey McGuire here on Big 12 Radio and Big 12 Studios. How does this team compare from a chemistry, all the things you were talking about there, and the culture and the buy-in and the locker room, just the feel that this team has? Is it different from your other three teams at Texas Tech? Has it just been elevated to another level, or were all those other teams on the same page too?
We had some – I was really proud of how we were able to bring the team together year one. I think there was a lot of buy-in in a hurry. They were an older group, so that really helped because this group's a really older group. But I feel like we've had really healthy locker rooms. We just at times, be honest, we got better players like David Bailey and Romello Height and Lee Hunter and guys like that. But the other thing, knock on wood, we've been healthier. Like year two, I felt like we were going to be a really good team, and we go into BYU with a freshman quarterback. It's like that's hard to win at a high level whenever you're having injuries like that, and we've had to deal with some injuries, but we've been pretty healthy overall. And I do think that's the magic. If you come to Texas Tech, the most important thing we have in this program are our players, and I think you'll feel that every single day.
You have, and you mentioned this on game day with Coach Saban, you have so many coaches that you have relationships with based on, your time, obviously, as a contemporary, but also at Cedar Hill. I'm curious, do you have ongoing conversations with some of those coaches? Are you asking for advice, or is that something kind of you save for the off season? When you're in season, you're doing your own thing?
The guys that I talk to in season, Matt Rule, of course, and Jeff Traylor. Those are my two go-tos all the time, all season long and then, all year long. But there's other coaches, that I talk to in the off season. And then really the guy that needs some credit too is Grant McCaslin. That's my go-to. I think it was after the Utah. It was after the Utah game. I was, I usually get out and try to get a little walk in and get some sun and everything. And I called him and I said, man, we are struggling penalty-wise, and just some of the stuff that you would talk about and what's important and stuff like that. So that's what's so great, man. I've got such an incredible guy like Grant McCaslin. I can just pick up the phone or run over to his office or anything like that.
Man, that's phenomenal. He's the men's basketball coach at Texas Tech, Grant McCaslin. You coach football. What are those conversations like? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for
you guys. Are cut from the same cloth. Very similar personalities, very genuine people, both of you guys.
Yeah, the thing that I love about Grant, it's all about the player too. And then, you'll see whenever we win a game, the basketball, social media, or somebody to tweet out, tough teams win, and that's what I love about him. It's all about how hard you play and the toughness you have. And so it's easy for me to pick up the phone and talk like that. He came and talked to the team during camp, right before we broke camp, and they just absolutely crushed it. And I've used a couple times, just reminding our players, some of the things he said. And one of his big deals was it's all about the team. Like, how hard you play, it shows how much you care about each other, stuff like that.
I'm going to nitpick for a second here, Joey. This is the last one I got for you. I had to save it for last. The defense is obviously dominant. The offense has been very good, especially running the football, but 24 of 59 in the red zone, scoring touchdowns, 53.7%. It obviously came up. How do you fix that?
Yeah, man, that's been a killer. It's kind of a little bit we've had some penalties that we've got to continue to fix. We've gotten a lot better. We're still not where we want to be. I want to eliminate all pre-snap penalties, but We've gotten better. We've really moved. Whenever you look at the numbers, I look at the stats all the time and everything. That's whenever it comes to everything about football. And then we've got to catch the football. We had 2 back-to-back plays where we threw the ball in the end zone, and that's ball. It's just not the receivers. That's ball placement by the quarterback. And that's receivers. I mean, we had 2 drops back-to-back that you put that ball in, and now, instead of 13-0 at halftime, we go up 20-21-0. And so we got to make sure we do that. I mean, schematically, I think we have some good stuff. We just got to execute it at a higher level because we have to. Like, you're not going to get away. We got lucky with BYU that we got away with that. You're not getting away with that, and especially when you start coming to 1-score games, you can't go and kick field goals and expect to win. I tell our defense that all the time. Make a kick field goals, they're not going to beat us.
Well Texas Tech up to number 6 in the college football playoff rankings. Coach, if charisma could rush the passer, Joey McGuire would lead the nation in sacks.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Thanks for coming on. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Coach. Take care.
Appreciate y'all having me.
All right,
Wreck
see you,
'em.
Coach. Texas Tech Coach Joey McGuire here on Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio. You're watching us on Big 12 Studios. More to come on Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio. We'll take a look at some Big 12 basketball, what happened last night between Texas Tech and Illinois, and the curious case of Kansas guard Darren Peterson before we talk Utah Utes, and then the final whistle still to come here next hour on Big 12 Radio. You're dialed in exclusively on TuneIn and Big 12 Studios, powered by Modelo.